I like to start with things that are gonna obviously take the longest. So I'm gonna start with doing some baked potatoes because they typically take about anywhere from 45 minutes to even a little bit over an hour depending on the size of them. So I'm just gonna rinse them real quick for me. I have 5 of them. I love making these to have throughout the week, and my husband takes them to work too, and then you can just heat them up in the microwave really quickly. So good. Love this. Now, of course, everyone has their own way of doing baked potatoes. You can do it where you wrap them in foil, which is what I'm gonna do, and also stab a bunch of holes in it, which is kind of therapeutic, I cannot lie. And I like to just wrap them up in foil and throw it in the oven as is. And what's good about doing it this way too, I also just take them out of the oven when they're done and throw them in the fridge in the foil. Done, you know? But if you want the skin to be a little bit more crispy, I would say just put them in with no oil. Just set them on the rack as they are, and that'll work for you too. Whatever you prefer. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Just get this going while I do everything else. I should have mentioned I did preheat the oven to 400 degrees, and don't mind my dirty pan, it just works, it's there. And this is gonna go for, like I said, about an hour for these ones. They're pretty big, but not massive, not Costco size. I'm also gonna make a big pitcher of iced tea. So I'm gonna use this electric kettle that I recently got, and I am in love with it. I love this thing, I really, really do. But again, why I'm doing this now too, is I'm doing things that are going to take the longest, and I want the tea bags to steep in it and have the longest amount of time of doing that. So I'm gonna get my hot water going to make my tea. While that comes to a boil for me, I'm going to get started on my brown rice. I'm going to use a rice cooker, but you could totally do this on the stovetop, however method you like to do it, do that. But I find this is foolproof for me. And don't forget to rinse your rice first before you add your liquid. It is going to be about 4 cups of liquid in here as well, since we're doing 2 cups of rice. And I would say I would definitely use vegetable stock if you had any. I just was out right now, so I did just use water, which is totally fine too. But if you do have that, it's going to give it a little bit more flavor. But I like to pre-make rice throughout the week, so it's just easy to grab to throw into meals as you go, for lunches, dinners, whatever it is, and it's just ready. And I like to usually just reheat it, put a little lemon juice or lime juice on it, maybe some fresh herbs in it, and there you go. I'm gonna get that cooking, and it's as simple as that. I just hit cook. It takes about 20 to 25 minutes and we're good to go. So meanwhile, my water has come to a boil. I love that thing. I just love it. And I'm gonna take some peppermint tea and some green tea. They're both decaf too, which is great. And I'm gonna put my hot water into my little pitcher, and I'm gonna add my tea bags into this to steep while I prepare everything else. To also do is I like to prepare a lot of my canned foods that I do use throughout the week on salads especially. I love putting black beans or kidney beans or even chickpea garbanzo beans on my salads. I love it, and it's such a great source of protein for you. But I will say what I like to do is I always rinse my beans. Always. Well, pretty much for that matter, any kind of canned food. And it's such a great way to get any excess sodium off. I've also heard that a lot of the liquid that is used in beans can also be the part that makes you more gassy and bloated. So, I mean, it's so simple to do this, and I just put them into my Snapware containers and they are ready to go for me throughout the week. And I do this actually a couple times a week because they go pretty fast in this house between both of us. But I just wanted to show you, it's as simple as this. Just put them in a strainer, rinse them through, and put them in your containers for you. I will link all the containers that I use below. I love these snapwares. They are my favorite. I have the plastic ones and the glass ones, and I love them. So I will have those below for you guys. Up a bag of asparagus, and I'm just gonna have that ready to go. And I'm sure most people know this, but the best way to know what part of the asparagus needs to be trimmed off is just breaking it. And where it naturally breaks is the longer part is what you'll actually want to eat. And the rest, as far as the stems go, what I like to do is I actually just have this bowl that I keep on the counter at all times, and I'm just gonna put the scraps into this bowl, as well as any other scraps that I have when I'm working with vegetables or fruits. You'll see right here. And this goes to my little pig. However, if you do not have a little pig, which I get, not everyone has one, you could also use your scrap bowl to, and maybe not mix fruits with it for that if you're gonna do it this way, but you can actually keep your scraps and freeze them and make your own veggie stock. So that's a good tip for you guys as well. Aside from that though, it's also just really nice to not have to go back and forth to the trash can. Just have a bowl that's like your trash bowl. It just saves you the steps. Obviously, you can see that I am just slicing up some strawberries. I just really like them sliced up, and I can also throw these on salads as well, which is really good. Strawberries and balsamic together, delicious. I'm working on preparing some mushrooms. Now mushrooms, if you're going to prepare them in advance, you don't want to run them underwater directly. That can really make them soggy super quickly, but you do want to get some of that dirt off the tops of them. So just take a damp wash towel and just go over them real lightly, as simple as that. But just don't run them underwater. It will not keep the texture of what a mushroom is. And I'm just going to slice these up, and then that way my husband has them for the week as well to put on salads. I'm not a big mushroom person myself, but he really likes them. So just getting these ready to go. So the next thing I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna take the rest of this popcorn that I have, and I'm going to put them into little Ziploc bags in the serving size that it recommends. For this particular one, it is 2 cups. So I'm gonna fill these up with 2 cups each of this popcorn. I think this is so smart to do this when you get a sweet tooth, or a snack tooth, as I like to say, especially late at night. And instead of taking the whole bag, you have it actually put into serving size that you should be having. Another trick I'm doing right now, because I'm on this kick right now of actually tracking exactly what I'm consuming, I'm actually going to take a marker and write on here what the serving is and the calories, the fats, all that. And so I'm just getting a good gauge of what it is I'm putting into my body. It's just a good tip, guys. I'm also going to do the same thing with these Mary's crackers, which, by the way, if you can recruit a kiddo or two to help you out with this, this is great. It's 13 for a serving size, and I had him help me out. lunchtime, when I had everything else done, my rice was ready to go. The baked potatoes needed still about 15-20 minutes, but no big deal. And I'm just going to put this into another bigger Snapware container. And it actually, I will say, 2 cups of rice, uncooked, which makes, you know, a lot, actually fit in this Snapware container for me almost perfectly. I had just a little bit left over, which is great. And again, I will just have this throughout the week to grab scoops of it as needed, just to have some rice with some meals. At this point, I'm going to remove the tea bags too in my pitcher, and I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of this filled up with ice. And I got some good iced tea. I'm not gonna lie, this was really good. That green tea with the peppermint mix was just super refreshing, so highly recommend that. Once the potatoes were done, I just pulled them out of the oven. I'm also gonna put all my snacks that I prepared in little baggies into this basket that I have and just put that in my cupboard for me, ready to go. Now at this point, I was actually hungry, so I'm gonna actually show you a meal that I will make throughout the week with these ingredients for sure. I know this might be a little bit weird. My husband's like, that's weird. And I'm like, I like it. So I'm gonna share it with you guys, but I'm gonna take one of my baked potatoes. I'm going to, and because like, again, I'm kind of just keeping track of everything, I'm actually using true measurements, and I am going to use the baked potato, half a cup of rice, half a cup of black beans. So good, guys. I know it's a little weird, but it's really, really good. Give it a shot. I'm gonna take a slice of this chow cheese that I have. This is the original one, and you could, you know, omit this if you didn't want to do anything truly like processed, but I'm gonna put 1 slice on because I just think it's really good, and put that over top. I'm then gonna take some fat-free balsamic vinaigrette. This is from Trader Joe's, and I'm gonna do 2 tablespoons of it. And I think this tastes really, really good. And I think it's kind of a good way to, you know, not use butter on it. And like I said, keeping track of everything, I will link this below where you can find this little book if it's something you want to do. But you can see I have everything, you know, sorted out of what this entails. And it's really, really good, guys. Anyway, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please thumbs up if you want to see more like this in the future. I'm happy to do it for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very, very soon. Mwah!